The Winston Cup purists are out in full force tonight, as you might imagine. And I'm curious, they say, 17.4 average finish or whatever it is, right? And he's not a real champion. Is there anything you would say to that subset of the fan base?
No. No. I got nothing to say to him. I got a pretty sweet trophy right now. I've been laughing all the way to the bank.
These are the rules we're playing on right now, and we've done the best job with this rules. It's hard to compare because we would potentially approach the season differently if we were racing under a different format. So I don't know that it's fair to say that we couldn't win if we went back to the old format. That's not how we planned out our season. We work on our season based off of what the format is now. So, sure, I mean, it's easy to say, but and were we fast a lot of races this year? No, but we executed to what the format is now, and that's why we're the champion.
What is up, race fans? It's Chase Holden, also known as Garage Guy Chase, and today, as promised, I'm going to be delivering you a video that's centered around the biggest debate in NASCAR, and that is, should the current NASCAR playoff format stick around or kick rocks? I'm going to dive all into what got this started, why we're here, and where we could go with a potential format that I think will be great for not only NASCAR, but for the teams, the drivers, and most importantly, you, the fan. All right, so we're going to start this off by doing normal things that I do. I just want to say make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like. Hit the notification bell. Anything helps. It's a brand new YouTube channel that I've started up, and I want to continue delivering you all of the latest NASCAR, IndyCar, and other forms of motorsport news that are out there. So I thank you all for your support and for the many views that we got on my last video. So let's keep that train rolling. Thanks so much. But we're going to talk today about this playoff system and how we got here. And to start it off, I think it's great to look at the race in Phoenix that we just had. Joey Logano is now the 2024 NASCAR champion. A lot of people are angry about that. Everyone has been talking about his average finish of 17th in the 2024 season and how this is what's called a Mickey Mouse champion. And I may start this video off by pissing some of you off, and that's just how it goes. That's okay. I have an opinion just like everybody else, and at the end of the day, I feel like my opinion is right, just like a lot of you, I'm sure, feel like your opinion's right. But I do want to say that while there are a lot of fans out there questioning the legitimacy of this, everyone has a right to be upset, but I don't think you have a right to say that Joey Logano isn't a champion. He played by the rules and the format that was given to him. Paul Wolfe and the gang, they know the drill. They found a way into the playoffs, and they maximized their potential to get to the championship, and then he showed up at Phoenix, and they won that race. So I don't think it's fair to say that Joey Logano is not a champion, which now on his resume is a 3-time champion, just like Tony Stewart, which is always going to be my favorite 3-time champion. But shout out to T-Stew. Much love.
I'm going to bust his ass.
Big Tony Stewart guy. But aside from that, I think it's very important because the talk of the town is this format now. And everyone's got a way to fix it, right? The biggest talking point that we can dive into here on how the fans have been reacting to the way to fix the playoff format is the Winston Cup playoff format, if you will, or the Winston Cup points championship. And this was the way that drivers, teams, and the entire NASCAR series operated up until the mid-2000s before Chase for the Cup. And the Winston Cup point system really showcases legitimacy because it rewards the drivers that have the best finishes throughout a season. And you go all the way through a season up until the end, and whoever's at the top of that ladder is who the winner is. There's really no way to make it an illegitimate thing when it's that way. It's pretty cut and dry, right? I think the issue that NASCAR has with that and that other industry experts or whatever is that this was the way that things worked a long time ago. And there's no guarantee that if it gets changed back to the Winston Cup points standings, that it's going to continue growing the sport as we are seeing it grow right now, which is another huge talking point that we'll get into. But to stick with this, there will never be another Winston Cup era. It will never happen. Mark Martin actually put a video out from, I think it was his podcast On the Mark, where he made some remarks about it, and I think it's important that everyone take a listen to one of the Winston Cup greats and what he has to say about it.
This is what we have. We can't put it back. We can't change it back. We can't take it back. Today is a very, very technological day, and we need to embrace what we have. Doesn't mean that we can't improve it with tweaks, but there's nothing that we can do to put the genie back into the bottle. We can't make it like it was the 90s anymore. We have to embrace what we have, and maybe we can make a few tweaks to make it better.
So that was a lot to take away from Mark Martin saying, we're never going to go back to the 90s. And, I mean, for a person like me, it makes my heart hurt a little bit, but I'm going to respect Mark's word there. And I'm going to say, too, that he's right. Like, as much as I've been a component of an ambassador for bringing Winston back, that doesn't necessarily mean make everything the way it was in the 90s. That means bring the hype, the energy of what NASCAR once was in our society back to today's time. And I firmly believe that we have done that. There are viewership ratings that show clear improvement in the year 2024, that things have been working because we're getting new fans. More people are watching, even through football season. So that's good. While there have been a lot of negative press out there, it's still keeping NASCAR trending on social media. That's the world we live in now. Back in the Winston Cup days, you didn't have social media to help fuel the popularity of a sport. That is one of the biggest driving forces now of anything, is your free billboard that you have on your cell phone and the account that you have and the choice to post the type of content that you want to choose. That's just how our world works today. So I think a lot of what Mark's saying is very valid here, especially when it comes to should we bring the Winston Cup points format back. I just don't think that championship way is going to help the overall growth of NASCAR. It would really make fans like me and some of you watching this very excited to see it go back to that way, the purist, if you will, of NASCAR racing of the old days and protecting that. But do I think that that's going to help to gain the eyes and ears of stick and ball sports fans and Gen Z fans? I just don't know. I think that there is truly a better way to make those things happen. And that's where we'll move into why all of this has even happened in the first place, and why there is this backlash where you've got NASCAR executives basically looking at the fans and telling them to piss off right now. There's a lot of anger in NASCAR fans, and I think that after watching it for 2 weeks now, really just kind of watching social media, listening to the interviews, listening to the drivers, you've got Chris Bell talking about how he feels like he was cheated because of what happened at Martinsville. Joey Logano kind of sneaking into the playoffs when Alex Bowman failed inspection, and that kind of made it to where the points fell back and it pushed Joey up. So there's been a lot of this, there's been a lot of controversy since the playoffs started. And I think that that's what has really fueled the conversation to get to where it is now, where fans are so pissed off that they're saying the points, the playoff points and the playoff system is the problem. That's the answer. I think that we're not paying attention to the fact that maybe we've had a lot of things that have rubbed us the wrong way, that have rubbed the fans the wrong way, kind of mixed into this big pot, and we've all been stirring it. And that really just comes from a lot of calls that have been made, some inconsistencies, and things like that. So I challenge you to kind of open your mind to that, right? I want you to kind of think a little bit like, hey, am I really upset with this playoff format the way that it is? Or am I really just kind of mad that Joey Logano is the champion and that I'm a Christopher Bell fan and the Martinsville shenanigans worked out the way that they did, and that really rubbed me the wrong way. And, I was an Alex Bowman fan, and he fails inspection. He doesn't get in. That's a little more tolerable, right, I guess. But at the same time, you have a lot of passionate NASCAR fans, and when you pick a driver in NASCAR, that bias can really push you in some interesting directions. So I challenge you to open your mind and think a little bit deeper as to what may be the real problem here. Is it really this format? Now, I can easily tell you that I'm on your side with the fact that I think there needs to be a change to this playoff format, but I don't know if going back to the way something was is truly going to be the answer. I don't think it is going to be the answer. What I do think is that what I'm going to propose to you is not going to make you so upset, and I think that it's advantageous for both NASCAR and their current place that they're in, which they're just looking at ratings, and they're looking at all the people that are talking about the sport, and they're seeing numbers going up. They're seeing you're keeping NASCAR trending because you're angry about it, and you're tweeting about it, and you're posting on Facebook and wherever else that you post social media. All that stuff is helping their case because you're keeping NASCAR relevant by talking about it on social media. You are elevating NASCAR to all these people that maybe have never watched NASCAR before that are on these social media sites, and now they're like, damn, people are talking a lot of shit about NASCAR. I need to pay attention and see what's going on over there. They watch one race with how it is. They never watched it before. Now they're hooked and they're fans. And that's what happens when you're constantly complaining and doing all these things. It makes the executives not want to make any change whatsoever. If nobody was talking about NASCAR right now and it wasn't trending in the news and nobody cared about how the points format goes, they may be a lot more open to be like, yeah, maybe we do need to make some changes because there's not enough people talking about it. That's settled. There are people talking about it here. The problem now is NASCAR keeping the respect from the old fans while also growing with new fans. This is my proposed new playoff format system for NASCAR, and it has some inspiration from a driver I think we all know and love. And I'll let you take a listen to this clip from his show talking about what he thinks could be the answer for the playoffs moving forward.
Let's face it, this format is exciting. We do not have the best four cars in the championship four. Now, we do have a regular season champ with Tyler Reddick, but he's not the regular season champ if Kyle Larson shows up to Charlotte. I got an idea. I think, what if we took the regular season champ and he got an automatic bid into the Final Four? We reward the regular season points champion
with a spot.
Because
of their body of work the whole time.
He's in the championship four. Well, guess what? Second place, you're going to go to the championship 8.
You're going to go round of 8.
And your third place guy, he's going to go to the championship 12. Fourth, you're going to be in the 16. Because then it at least gives you something in the regular season to not only race for first, but we're racing for first, second, third, and fourth. You got the championship points and an automatic berth into each round of the playoffs.
So what do you think about that? Kevin Harvick laying it out pretty simple, and what a great idea. The regular season champion will have a real meaning again. Because let's be honest, do you remember who the regular season champion is at the end of the regular season every year? I forget that shit all the time. You want to be in that top 4 to get those guaranteed spots. I love that the regular season champion is immediately going to that round of 4. Second place is immediately got a spot, round of 8. Third place immediately got a spot in the round of 12. And fourth immediately got a berth into the round of 16. I love that. Now, let's explore it further. So, the end of the regular season, the top 4 regular season finishers are guaranteed specific placement in the playoffs. First in points, directly to the Champ 4. Second in points, round of 8. Third in points, round of 12. Fourth in points, goes to the round of 16. Fifth through 16th in regular season points also advance to the round of 16 based on their point standings. Now, this is the big one. There is no more winning in the regular season. Points matter throughout, and the consistency is key. That is what is going to give legitimacy to the playoffs. When you're looking at this regular season, if you are a team and a driver, it is your job to get into that top 16 if you want to have a championship season. Now, we move to playoff structure. In the round of 16, drivers that are 4th through 16th in points will be competing over the 3 races. Win in advance begins in the playoffs. So no more winning in the regular season. Win in advance is the new term that stays. And that's something that is already in the current playoff format. So there won't be much to change there. So everything about the playoffs now can kind of stay the same, except for the guaranteed spots. The win in advance is going to stay, and I think that that is a good part of what they do have in the NASCAR playoffs right now. After the 3 races, the top 12 drivers in points, including any of the race winners from 4th through 16th, will advance. The round of 12 kicks off. Drivers 3rd through 12th in points will compete over those 3 races. The win in advance applies again. After the 3 races, the top 8 drivers in points, including any race winners, even if they were out of those points, they will advance. But they shouldn't be technically. They should be consistently stacking, right? So the round of 8, you will apply the same thing. 2nd through 8th in points will compete. 3 drivers have to win those 3 races if you want to up your point standings and make it to that next round. And then you let the points kind of stack and shave as they go. So hopefully I explained that in the best way that I could, but this really, in my opinion, is going to be the best solution for the old school race fans and the new school race fans. I want to know what your thoughts are on that. Add anything you have to it. Let me know your thoughts, your frustrations, your feelings. Just pour them all in the comments. Again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this new channel if you did like this video. I'll have lots more coming out like it. I'm Chase Holden. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say.